Actually, I didn't realize this. YouTube will watch me do my Facebook Live opening, and then Facebook Live will continue to watch me do my YouTube recording. Oh my goodness. I didn't plan that, but it's going to work out fine. So, now I am doing new computer configurations that I am forced to do. And so I've had to do a lot of changing and rearranging and new technologies and new operating systems. And those operating systems have favorable browsers, or the browser. If anybody tries to tell you that the browsers are not warring at war with one another, uh, please, you can send that conversation my way, because I will tell you my stories. But at any rate, um, and I do close on you. Okay, I'm getting new Facebook pop-ups telling me to do things. So that was the first time I saw that, and it's too late to do what they want me to do. So this week was well, the name. Well, by the way, I'm David, and today is uh, the final day of my National Small Business Week 2024, and uh, where every Saturday is Small Business Saturday is an absolute appropriate title for what we're doing. And this the last, well, is the final day of National Small Business Week. And what I have done since my whole publishing and producing started a week ago today, when I met I met in a live chat for the first time. And yesterday, Michael and I had a next step conversation, which was that's all happened this week. So um, we'll get into that in a moment. Uh, what I want to do is just I want to give my highlights of the week, and it has absolutely been the most impactful 7 days of small business activity that I've ever had. Just the things that were going on and the folks that I met, and it was a wonderful wonderful experience. Quite appropriate that yesterday was my 75th birthday. And symbolically, to me, that means um, for 53 years, I have been a third generation small business owner. So it was an important part of, of my upbringing. And uh, it was such a thrill to uh, create this, and even more appropriate was that the Celebrate Business Project 2024, which has always been a marketing and sales value experience, is going to take on an additional, not a new one, but an additional approach and strategy, and I'm very excited about that. So I am going to make the adjustments and go back. Why don't I'll just keep them open? Yes. Action needed too low FPS. Well, yes, and the last time I tried to change it, you made it extremely difficult for me. So, and I try to call Facebook, and all I get are bots, and they can't solve my problem. And it's artificial intelligence anyway. So, what's I don't want to talk about that right. Well, if I have to leave it on the screen, oh my lord! Don't get me started about Facebook technology. Well, you have got me started about it. Um, so, uh, last Saturday, I had a fascinating discussion with Michael Price, and uh, if you can believe it, Michael did more talking than I did. It was just a fascinating experience for me to listen and learn. Listen, and it was a tremendous session, and uh, uh, it has evolved, as I said, to the point where yesterday, Michael and I had where we had actually it was an appointment. I dated 12:30, and he was eating, and I was telling this. I was the entertainment. I was the lunchtime entertainment, and it was a fascinating discussion for me, and looking forward to uh, the next steps that were defined at the lunch. And then, oh my goodness, the week of March 22nd, I was reading my weekly Cincinnati Business Courier, and their highlight of the week, well, they do a list. That's why I actually read the 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 lists that they publish, because it defines for me very clearly who are interesting folks to go and talk to. But uh, actually, wow, I read the top corner of this story, which is the absolute ideal space uh, for publishing, because the eye goes to the upper of the outside page. At any rate, in bold print, larger, dark bold print for us older folks, coaching really has been a differentiator for us. Are we asking the right questions, and are we listening? And then it's taking that next step. And I said, wow, I quickly um, saw what was talking. Well, the list was actually SBA lenders, and I was, for National Small Business Week, I was spending a lot of time seeking out SBA lenders. It made a lot of sense. So, uh, uh, wow, when I uh, so we had I'm trying to think. I don't think I think on Monday was the first time that he and I have actually physically interacted with one another via a live stream. And but I had run into Pat years ago when he was developing what he has going, uh, literally. Well, it's 1,800 steps from where I'm sitting, because, wow, my front door, uh, because I walked there yesterday. Let me show you a picture of what I saw. It just blew my mind. Less than a mile from my house. get a good look at that. And we'll do a Facebook side to it too, a YouTube side. That's actually a better picture. Alloy Development, which was where I was the company I was looking for, is a top 10 incubator in the world. One less than 1,800 steps from my front door, and I never knew it until this weekend. So I pledged. Well, let's go look at some other folks I met this week. I got a collection of business cards that folks that I got business cards from. Actually, this is funny too. I was actually supposed to meet Pat on Thursday I get my days all confused. 2 days ago, I think. Yes, 2 days ago. That's how exciting and so much stuff going on this last week. And he had a board meeting because he's president and CEO of Alloy Development, and board meetings are important events for CEOs and presidents. So he never made it back in time. While I was there, he probably got there after I left because I had to leave before noon because I was doing a live stream that, oh my goodness, we'll share it in a moment. But I actually met on Thursday. I met face to face Terry Bolden, who is the Deputy District Director of the Columbus District Office of the SBA right here. Well, the Columbus District is part of a 66, as I understand it, I might be wrong, it's part of a 66 Ohio districts that the SBA, that office embraces. So Terry and I had I don't even remember the date, Terry, but it's probably a month ago already or more. I had a live stream, and yesterday I met Terry, and not only did I meet Terry, but I met the district director, and the last thing Terry said to me was, yeah, he's my boss. So I said, I will give you a good report. Don't worry about it. But I told Everett Waddell and Terry that one of my personal outcomes from my experience on Thursday is that I want to publish and produce the story of what went on that day. I mean, and what goes on in 1,800 steps from my front door. That's a story that I need to tell. And then I met another on Thursday. Got a card from Julie A. Johnson, PHRSHRM-CP. I have no idea what those initials mean, but I do know that she is a senior HR business strategist at a company that I actually kind of did business with probably 15 years ago, and they have evolved into. She now represents the Clark Schaefer Strategic HR, and they offer all these services and very eye-catching graphic. And so we had a 10 chat, and that story was a very interesting one. And then, oh my goodness, my story is never complete without sharing the moments with Barbara Weltman. Uh, Barbara Weltman is America's, and I'm not calling her, I do call her this, but the people who, whomever, she is the small business tax expert, author, authority. I call her author authority in the entire country. She is the go-to person when you have a question about what's inside her book, I guess. While Barbara and I have been, uh, we've been live streaming literally for 17 years. It's approaching 17 years. We did our first one in, no, it's 8. We did our first live stream in 2009. Now, a long time, 15 years. I don't, the dates, but this particular book, and Barbara updates this book every year. So there's new tax laws, new conversations. Uh, she does a wonderful job of case studies, and as I've been telling Barbara for years, I personally know very, very little about what it is that she does. But so when I have a question, I go to Barbara's index, and if I have a question about something, I started her index, and then we go from there. And that's the way I read her book, and it's worked for me for as long as I've been reading the book. Well, this particular one, for some reason, Barbara was able to sign it before she and I actually were live streaming about it. It had to be a mistake, because that's never happened that way again. But at any rate, I had a conversation with Barbara. I had to. My whatever isn't complete until I do. And I told her how fascinated I was by something that I read from her that I never really paid much attention to. But last week, she publishes 365 days a year. You can read some advice about small business information from Barbara Weltman. Trust me, I've been doing it for a long time. And so she made reference to the NFIB, National Federation of Independent Business study on small business optimism. And I said, wow, I need I need to read a report or see what's going on, or the data about small business optimism. And because I kind of figured that I was going to see something where there's not a very optimistic look about things. And here's where it gets a lot of fun. In the last quarter of last year, Barbara and I had a discussion, and I asked Barbara specifically, and I think it's the first time that we had this kind of conversation, to give her top 10 recommendations, ideas, thoughts, not necessarily, I don't know if I remember to tell her to do it in priority order, which doesn't really matter because businesses have to be concerned about all 10 of them. And we had a conversation, and so I cross-list that conversation she was having with the data that I was reading from the National Federation of Independent Businesses. And I said, Barbara, let's go back to the conversation that you and I had last year, because your recommendations tie into the study. So it was fun for Barbara to go back and comment where today, what a small business owner needs to be thinking. Well, actually, not any small business owner. Anybody paying business taxes will benefit from Barbara's information. But then I said, and there's three things that you and I talked about that I specifically want to talk about because I can respond to them because we had the conversation, and that's complying. Because they impacted me more so than ever. Complying with the new business owner registration requirement, and Barbara's immediate response, yes. However, the government, IRS, is talking about getting rid of that as a requirement together. But it was something that basically he said I had to register Dreaming with Entrepreneurs LLC, and there's different things that have to happen because of the size that you are. Uh, so I'm waiting for Barbara on what I should do there. Staying up on the federal, state, and local regulations. And my response was, well, Barbara, my response is just buy the book. Somewhere the answer is in the book. She kind of laughed. What Barbara does wonderfully with the book every year is keeps up with it as best she can with digitally she publishes to the book. So if there's something new that has happened in the last whatever days, I'm not sure if it's a regular schedule with her or just as needed, but she keeps small businesses knowledgeable about what tax regulations there are. And then the final thing was arranging for additional financing small business. How does a business get to the next step of where they are in their business if they wanted to grow, and who do they need to talk to, because they're probably not probably in most cases. I can actually, and I have a personal story about that. In most cases, they need to go to somebody to get money to get them to the next step. Well, I have been talking with a bunch of people who you certainly need to start the conversation with. And a great place to start, because you'll get a quicker start. You'll get a quick start if you go to score.org. And not only will you get a kickstart to what it is that you need, but most of the markets, I think, at least have I know they don't, well, obviously they don't all have a SBA office, but I think every market has at least a score.org organization. I'm sure they do. That's just the way SCORE is, because it was created by folks who have successfully retired from business and are volunteering their time to assist, help businesses get to their next level. That's what SCORE is all about. And so that's a great place to start if you need to get information about anything in your business. Score.org or SBA.org is the place you need to go to start to get the information that you need to start to make things happen for your small business. I should have done that a long time ago. And that was a whole nother story. I am watching National Small Business Week through the eyes of what I call a solopreneur. And there's only been 1 year out of my life where I made a leap of faith and had a staff of wonderful folks. And the interesting thing is, I'm 1, 2, 3 or 4 of them already yesterday wished me a happy birthday on my Facebook page. and uh, we were developing a company that was achieving goals and objectives faster than they were supposed to, and I made a very, very bad. I let a bad personal decision get in the way of a good business decision. Is exactly what I did, and that's a whole nother story. What happened there? Not a very pleasant one. Uh, how did we get there? We got there with. I should have been doing this stuff. Solopreneur versus entrepreneur. I have approached life uh, by myself, if you will, to do the things that I've wanted to do purposely by design. That's the way that I wanted it. And because I have always been uh, project success oriented, not so much not how much did the project make, but was the project even able to a revenue model? That's what I've been doing, and it's the answer to is yes. And the Celebrate Business Project 2024 marketing sales value experience is about. That's right there is what the whole story is about, and so it has been a wonderful week. I thank all those folks who helped make it a fun week for me appropriately. I had a lot of fun with those folks who follow me on Facebook. I approached Facebook, well, I approached it the way I do, and I had fun responding to everyone, I hope. And if I didn't, please let me know. Folks have wished me a happy birthday, and it was fun creating that story and bringing back. I mean, there's actually memories that were brought back from my neighborhood where I grew up, because there were one, two, three, four folks who grew up with me in my neighborhood responded to my Facebook, wished me a happy birthday. How much fun was that? And a lot more folks, and it was just it was a fun thing to do, and even more to add to the fun. The Facebook technology, I was receiving information. I was receiving via algorithm information that people were wishing me a happy birthday. I I got three different algorithms, so I try to keep up with the three. I know that I didn't keep up with entirely, so if I missed thanking you, please let me know that I did, because that part of it was pretty crazy. Well, I have had fun from folks who responded to that. Um, I think probably from an age perspective, the most fun goes back to me responding to uh, Bob Mitchell, who I met in the first grade, and our lives evolved together so that we were, I don't know, 11 or 12, and Bob and his father and myself and my father, we participated in the YMCA's Indian Guides program way back then. And uh, then there, and while in me reuniting with Bob, it came back to me at uh, a high school reunion gathering. I think it was either our 55th or 70th birthday. Might have been one of those two events I attended, And as it dawned on me, just as I was sitting there, that Bob's father and my mother dated in high school. She was he was the Johnny Mitchell that I heard stories about, but never put the pieces together and found out it was Bob's father. It was pretty bizarre, and it was so bizarre. My mother got a telegram from my father in her senior class homeroom asked my mother to marry him. She was a senior in high school and got this telegram from my father, who at that time was in the Army. So they had a crazy Army wedding where my father had to go home and change. Oh my Lord, what a story that one was. Uh, but that's how much fun I have been having this last week. I've been able to come in contact with new folks, and new stories evolve. I am going to. It's amazing to me that one of the top 10 incubators in this world is 1,800 steps away from me. For all of you who don't know what an incubator is, an incubator is the heartbeat of a business startup, is the best way to describe it. Small businesses are brought together under one roof to develop their programs with interacting with other small business owners who are starting their businesses. And the ultimate idea is that you will leave the incubator and take your business to a level too big for the incubator. I think that's the end. Well, I'll find out if that's the mission, but it's a fascinating story. And I was listening to a gentleman, a small business owner in the incubator, and I think he might have been one of the first ones in and refuses to come out. I don't know. I haven't that figured out, but it was just fascinating to listen to him tell his story, why he was where he was, and where he's going to be tomorrow. Uh, and I interacted in uh, uh, he was supposed to be with me yesterday. He was supposed to be with me yesterday. Uh, he's president CEO. He had a board meeting, but I met Pat's the next in line after Pat. He and I spent some time together. I was able to ask some questions and get some directions, and he was telling some fascinating stories about what's going on. I went on a field trip. I went on a field trip with him through the building, and he was explaining the different things that were going on in that building. It was a great use of my time yesterday, Thursday. That's where we're going to go. Uh, it's fitting and proper that I was able to define next steps for me after going through the experiences that I had. That means it was a good thing if I can define next steps. And we have a lot, we have a lot of next steps to define, but having a lot of fun doing it. If at any time you have a question or concern about your small business or your friend's small business, please contact me, dleopold at davidsbarter.com. Uh, Leopold, I'm looking for, I have that written down someplace. Leopold at davidsbarter.com. And I will get you headed in the right direction to get your concern answered. I will head you in the right direction. I promise. My commitment to you this National Small Business Week. It's been fun. Thank you for your time today. Thank you for 30 almost 35 minutes of your time today, if you're still here. If you're still here. Hope you're still here. We'll see you the next time. And it is also fitting and proper that I end the live stream with a thought that was left to me for the first time 53 years ago. I'll see you the next time, which may very well be the best time. Enjoy your day. Oh my goodness. That was thunder. Oh my goodness. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be hiding for the rest of the day. Please wait a few seconds to close your browser. My browser is closed over there. Let's close this one. We will end the stream. Thunderous noises. We will end this stream. Have a great day. Enjoy your day.